Hey, what's up everybody? Alex Comstock here with WhitetailDNA, and I'm really excited for this video. We've got something new coming here. What I want to do for this video is introduce our new team member, Jeremy Lopez. We just added Jeremy here not too long ago. He's been a good buddy of ours for a while. He's been really good friends with Garrett for a long time. If you ever hear us refer to him as Lopey, his nickname's Lopey. Lopey is someone who's really knowledgeable, especially on the archery side. He's worked in an archery shop. He still does. He's got that kind of that background that we really don't. And he's kind of an archery tech nerd. And so we're going to be doing a lot more archery related stuff. He's going to be teaching me a lot of stuff in the past, haven't paid attention to a lot of archery specific things. I'm kind of just the bare bones. I know the basics, I hunt, and that's about it. But when it comes to some of the real nitty-gritty specs, that's where Lopey kind of excels, and we're really excited to bring a different kind of content with him on board. He also does a lot of Western hunting. Him and one of his good buddies that go out west every year have been really successful with elk hunting and pronghorn hunting and mule deer and all sorts of things out west. So we're going to be kind of venturing out west this year as well. So really excited to introduce Lopey. In this video, he's going to be talking about what release could be best for you and just kind of going through all the different releases out there. And really pumped to have him on board. Really hope you enjoy this video. Do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button. That always helps us out. And I appreciate you watching, and we'll hopefully enjoy this video.
Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Lopez with WhitetailDNA, and today we're going to talk about the different types of releases that you can use. We're not going to go over brand specific, just the different types, the pros and cons, and how to quickly shoot them. So first off, we're going to start with your traditional wrist strap index finger release. I like this for most bow hunters. It's a very affordable release. Some of the pros is you can get them pretty much anywhere you want. You can walk in a Walmart, a big box store, or a big archery shop or a small archery shop. They're most likely going to have some sort of index release. Another pro, it's kind of like a rifle trigger. It mimics a rifle trigger, it's just horizontally instead of vertically. It's always on your wrist, you're never going to lose this, and it's a great starting point for the price point. How to properly shoot this, you strap it on your wrist here, you get it on, and when you're ready, you clip in your release, you pull back your bow, you anchor in, you wrap around the trigger and slowly pull through, and it fires. Some of the cons to this release, it doesn't give you a consistent anchor point. If you shoot this release a lot and maybe you've had archery coaching, they'll talk to you about actually finding that anchor point and consistently getting in the same spot. This just allows a lot of different movements on your face, and it can cause some inconsistencies. Another thing is, I don't think a lot of people understand how to properly actually shoot this without punching your trigger. This release can cause a lot of target panic. And what I mean by target panic is when you're timing your shot and your pin's floating around and you're timing it back to the middle and you pull the trigger. So that's an index release. Like I said, I do like this for most archers. It's a great entry point for a bow hunter. Next, we're going to move to a handheld thumb button release. This is a Stan Onyx. Basically, you put it in your hand like this, close it onto your D-loop, and you wrap around it, and you pull through your shot. What I like about this is it really does it gives you a consistent anchor point. You can always put it behind your jaw, kind of line up your pointer finger and your middle knuckle and put it right into your jaw. That way it creates a consistent anchor, so you're more consistent when shooting your bow. I do like this too, especially for whitetail hunting, is you can strap this to your D-loop, just like this here, and you can put your bow into a tree and you don't have to worry about actually clipping on your D-loop when you're hunting. Some of the cons to this release, it's hard to find in a big box store. If you're in a pinch and you need to go to a Walmart or a Fleet Farm, there's not a whole lot of handheld releases to select from, especially if you have a higher end release. They are relatively expensive as well. They're not cheap, but I think that with a high-end release, you're going to get high performance results. So how to shoot this release, you take your D-loop here, you strap it on, pull your bow back and anchor, get on the target, wrap your thumb around the barrel and pull through your shot until it breaks. So that's a variation of a thumb button. So now we're going to talk about resistance releases. So our first one is a back tension release. Now, some people may have heard of a back tension release. There's a back tension release as well as a hinge. This is what I'm calling a back tension release here. It's an open hook. You set the hook here, you're hanging on your D-loop, and it actually serves as a safety. So you have to pull that trigger down. When you pull your bow back, you come off the safety and you pull until it has enough tension to actually fire. This is a great training aid. There are people I've heard of that hunt with them. I personally wouldn't hunt with them just because in the moment your adrenaline's pumping and you could rush your shot, or you really pull through that shot when you're not on target and the bow will fire. It's set to a specific poundage. So you can actually adjust the tension on this one to either a lighter poundage or a heavier holding weight. Some pros about this, it's a great practice tool. You know, if you're dealing with target panic, this allows you to quit focus on your aiming and really hit the fundamentals of pulling through your shot and getting rid of target panic. The cons, you know, again, it's relatively expensive. They're not really the easiest to find unless you're online shopping. And, you know, it could also, if you're actually hunting with it, maybe you drop it out of your pocket, etc. So now we're going to move on to what we call a hinge. This is called a hinge. Some people call it a back tension release. Basically what a hinge does is you hook it onto your D-loop and you either slowly rotate until it clicks and then it'll fire. So you're rotating the moon downwards until it fires. Some people also shoot them where they grip the release tighter and then they slowly relax their hands while pulling tension and the release fires. A hinge is a great tool for learning the fundamentals again. As you probably noticed, a lot of this is repeating. A lot of these releases have the same pros and cons other than cost and the difficulty of shooting. The cons of this release is it can be tricky. It can be a hard barrier of entry point to pull back. When you pull back your bow, if you're not properly have the tension set on that middle or that pointer finger, you could actually pull back and punch yourself in the face. So it can be scary. It's a good release to stand maybe a yard or two from a target and practice actually pulling back. That way you don't sail one into the ceiling. Another pro of this, like I said, it gets the fundamentals down. They're harder to punch off. You can't, you know, there is no trigger to actually punch. You can punch this if you rotate hard, it'll go off, but you can't really cheat this release. It's super hard to cheat. It's a great tool and it's a great release to hunt with if you have the experience. So how you do this is you pull back your bow and you anchor. You know, again, another good consistent anchor with a handheld. And some people shoot releases different. I like to take my thumb off the trigger and I roll in my click and then it fires. Another thing about a hinge is some of them have clicks. I would say almost all hinges have clicks, or some of them have the option to not have a click. That's just personal preference. I personally like a click, kind of eases my mind. And you know, going forward, I think this is a great off-season tool for myself. It makes me a better shooter, and that way when I transitioned into a thumb button, you know, I have the fundamentals down. So talking about a click, basically what a guy named Joel Turner did is he talked to Stan and said, hey, let's take this hinge and this thumb button and put them together, which equals the Onyx clicker. This is a thumb button with a click. So again, the same thing we just talked about with the Stan thumb button, but it has a click now. Again, you wrap it on your D-loop, draw back. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but it's a super soft click. So you pull to the click, keep pulling, and then it fires. So the purpose of this was to be able to use it in a hunting scenario and being able to control the trigger. So if something happens fast, whether you're whitetail hunting, maybe you're out west, western hunting, and you have to quote unquote command shoot, and you can get this still to go off by punching the trigger. You'll just surpass the click and you'll actually fire the release. So it's a great training tool, but also a great hunting release. And then we also have some different variations that have come out in the industry in the last couple of years. This is a stand access release. It comes on a wrist strap. I personally shoot this. I like the wrist strap, and it is a self-resetting release. So again, same thing. It has the thumb button, is a thumb button release, handheld. We wrap it around the D loop. It's an open loop. And basically when I shoot, it resets. I don't have to click the bottom button. I don't have to have the noise there when I reset on a D loop. It just automatically resets. I'm ready to go. I really like this just because if I do have to take another shot, a follow-up shot on an animal, I don't have to worry about clipping on to my D loop. And again, it's kind of the same thing. It's just a different brand. TrueBall Trident makes the same release, just a different variation. Goes around your wrist, wrap in, you shoot, and it resets. So you don't have to worry about clicking the actual button and making this noise. So yeah, that's a little bit about all the different types of releases on the market. I personally have shot them all. I love trying different releases, and I think you just need to try enough stuff to figure out what works best for you and the style that you hunt. I don't think there's a release better than one another. I think it's all personal preference and how you shoot it, and how you shoot in the off season. Like I said, I really like a hinge during the off season, and then I switch back to a thumb button. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be pushing out more archery content like this, and I look forward to bringing more content in the future. Thanks.